question number one. Okay. Yeah. Question number one. What really caused the breakup? Let's just start.
Okay. Well, before I get into the messy, I just want to give a little toast to Catherine and I, our 10-year relationship, because 10 years is a long time.
I see love on the horizon.
Wait, say that again. You said what?
I see love.
Love.
I see love. I see you in a long-term relationship with somebody who really, truly loves you, respects you, and that you love and respect as well. Seems like a pretty easy relationship for the most part. A little too good to be true.
Wow.
But it is. It's very true. I'm really excited about the energy between this person and yourself.
Austin McBroom, the man who practically defined YouTube drama for years, has finally decided to spill his own tea on his breakup with Catherine, her new man, and brace yourselves, his new life since all of the chaos went down. And yes, it is all happening on a brand new podcast with his brother Landon, Outside Voices. You know it's about to get messy when Austin McBroom and his brother Landon decide to start a podcast. We already know that these two love to stir the pot, so it was only a matter of time before they started spilling the tea on their own lives. But what we didn't expect was just how much real drama they would unpack on the very first episode.
The internet is messy, and you guys want me to be messy. So we're gonna talk about it.
You guys, that first episode drops and it is full of everything we want to know. Basically, the Ace family drama update, Catherine's new boyfriend, and how Austin feels about it all. Spoiler alert, he is not exactly celebrating her new relationship, but we're getting ahead of ourselves here. Landon also didn't hold back about the drama going on in his life right now. Not that anyone cared, but it's the McBroom brothers, y'all. So as always, things are next level. All right, loves, without any further ado, let's get right into it.
We had three beautiful, amazing children. And I wouldn't change anything for the world.
Now, I don't know about you, but whenever someone with a ton of controversy behind them decides to get into podcasting, it always gets sus immediately. I mean, it's practically a given that these two are about to get real with the audience, and it seems like that's exactly what they're doing. Not only that, the brothers launched a whole new YouTube channel for this podcast, which makes sense because, you know, they all want the views, all the clicks, and all the attention. And of course, Austin being Austin, couldn't help but dive right into the drama from the start. It's no surprise that in the very first episode, Austin and Landon didn't hold back about their personal lives, giving listeners an inside look at the chaos, controversies, and big life moments they've been living through. But what was really interesting was the way that Austin kicked things off by talking about his past as a YouTuber. At first, he seemed almost nostalgic about it. You could tell that deep down, he still sees himself as a YouTube star, and let's be real, he's not ready to let go of that status just yet. But it wasn't long before he started bringing up the past, specifically his breakup with Catherine.
Had I not booked a one-way ticket to Los Angeles back in 2012, 2013, my life wouldn't have evolved the way that it has. And me making that decision, me taking that risk and just seeing what happens is the reason why my life turned out to be this way. And that's why when I think back at like the decision that I made to move here, it has changed so much of my karma and the karma of my children and my children's children and so on. And so to think that like, yeah, had I not moved here, I wouldn't have met my kid's father and I wouldn't have had kids here. And to take it one step further, my kids wouldn't have the DNA that they have. Like my kids have their father's DNA, which has so much history and there's so much beauty to it, and there's just so much that they have because I made the decision to move here, and a whole bunch of other decisions were made after that led us to where we are today. So it's just so interesting to think about, kind of like the butterfly effect, right? I don't know if you've watched that movie, but yeah, like in the film you see that every little decision changes the course of your life. Anything can happen at any moment, and that's why it's so important to live in the moment, because it really is all just an illusion. It's like time is not linear, and I always say this, but sometimes I feel like it's really hard to grasp because it's just words. But then when you truly feel it inside of you, when you really truly grasp what that means, right? Like that time is all an illusion, separation is all an
However, loves, let's pause on the relationship drama for a minute because these two had something else to share. And I'll let you know why this is relevant in a short while. So Austin and Landon went straight into it, addressing the elephant in the room, what's been happening in their lives lately. Austin, being the open book that he is, or thinks that he is, gave a quick rundown of his rebranded life. Forget the whole YouTube star vibe, the new Austin McBroom is a Snapchat king, literally calling himself a Snapchatter. Seriously.
Now, I'm a Snapchatter.
Snapchatter.
And we're going to get into that because Snapchat is, they're paying the bills, as you can see.
As y'all know, Austin's been on that Snapchat hard lately. Apparently, the platform has been way more than just a place to send cute selfies and quick videos. For Austin, it's been the new way to rake in cash. He flat out says Snapchat is the new YouTube for him. And if you thought Austin was done capitalizing off of his name, think again. Now, let's backtrack for a second. We all know Austin was doing the most on Snapchat around the time of their separation. Those cringy, exaggerated videos he kept posting, giving us constant updates about his life, sometimes too much. But what we did not know was that Austin was low-key making bank while doing it. Apparently, Austin had a Snapchat streak going that was bringing in serious cash. And of course, he was more than willing to let everyone know just how much he was pulling in. According to him, he was making a crazy amount of money off of his posts, and it sounds like he was living a pretty comfortable life while all of the drama with Catherine was unfolding. But here's the thing. Austin made it clear that at the time he was pretending to live a totally different life on Snapchat. Remember when he posted those videos from a trailer and made it seem like he was struggling? Well, according to Austin, it was all part of the game. He wasn't really living in a trailer, but he sure knew how to play the sympathy card to rake in more cash. Let's just say that he was hustling big time.
Basically, long story short, from that video, I kept going on with this character that I was playing. I was playing this down bad character and it was crazy because I felt like a lot of people were relating to me because, especially a lot of women were relating to me because after a breakup, you know, no one wants to talk about it or act that way on social media, but that's how people are feeling.
Like crashing out type shit.
Yeah, people want to crash out. So I fed into it, figured out my character, figured out what I was going to post each and every day. And as I was like going through this character, I was living here in this home. So I would pull my RV into my property, into my driveway, and I would get out into the home that I'm living in now.
Yeah, and people
really thought
you were in the RV.
They really thought I was living in the RV, but little did they know that was just my office space that I was capitalizing on.
Not only that, it looks like Austin is not the only one in the family who is benefiting off of Snapchat in a big way. So for a hot minute, both Austin and Landon thanked Snapchat for their success, specifically giving love to a woman named Monica who works at Snapchat and apparently helped them get where they are now. Landon was practically gushing over how she came through for him, connecting two puzzle pieces to get him to where he's at today.
That is our only that is our only sponsor for today's episode.
Is Snapchat.
Shout
out to Snapchat. Shout out to Monica.
Yes, we love you guys.
Monica is someone who works at Snapchat. She's high up in the ranks, and she is someone who really came through for me and connected two puzzle pieces, and now, you know, I'm sitting at a different place in life. Yeah. Because of Monica from Snapchat.
Austin doesn't stop there. Turns out Snapchat even sponsored this first podcast video, literally flexing for finding something better than YouTube. So for him, his new kind of content isn't just a replacement, but a step up. If you know Austin well, then you already know that that is something he would throw around for everyone to feel. One thing about Austin, he has got an ego the size of Russia. Would you believe that he made it sound like he is the one who saved Snapchat from collapsing? Austin starts by explaining how a few years ago, Snapchat was in serious trouble. Like serious trouble. We all remember when Snapchat started to lose its hype and people stopped using it. The views were dropping and influencers were jumping ship. It looked like the app was basically dead. But then Snapchat pulled a power move. They realized that they had to start paying creators to keep them on the platform, or else it would go the way of MySpace. Well, guess what? That strategy worked. Fast forward to today, and all of a sudden, Snapchat is hot again. Everyone is back posting, making money, and suddenly it's like Snapchat is the place to be. No more struggling, no more dying out. Instead, creators are flooding back to the platform with brand new contacts in hand, and Austin McBroom is no exception. But don't get it twisted, Austin isn't here just to talk about contracts and monetization. He's here to talk real business. He gets that people are watching and waiting for the drama, so he's feeding it. He doesn't hold back as he talks about what's really going on in his life now that he's making these major moves. He's got the followers, he's got the money, he's got the freedom, and he's ready to spill about how this whole Snapchat deal changed his life, and it's only getting started. And you can hear the confidence in his voice when he's talking about real money. Like, this isn't just a let me show you my shiny car flex, it's a I'm making bank flex. He casually drops that his contract with Snapchat is on the same level as some of the biggest influencers you can think of. Well, if his words are anything to go by, then he's making more off of Snapchat than he ever did on YouTube.
So, from that character, I would like to just go straight into, should we do numbers? Should we talk numbers?
On Snapchat?
People love talking numbers. They love that shit.
Well, one thing I will say is that Snapchat, I feel like, pays better than YouTube.
Everyone knows that.
You think so?
I think that.
I feel like it's still new.
I think Snapchat has hit the wave, and everybody is just. I've always look on TikTok and see some type of person talking about how much money they're making on Snapchat and kind of just releasing this information. I remember when I first seen someone say something about how much money they were making and it went viral on Snapchat. I was hot because I was like, no, like, let's
leaked the info.
Let's gatekeep for as long as possible.
I know. I feel like now so many people are on the platform now.
Oh yeah, well, because people know now.
Yeah, because 2 years ago, before they started monetizing people, Snapchat died. Then they started to realize that they got to pay creators in order to keep them on the platform. And so now everybody came back to Snapchat.
All right, moving on to the juicy part that everyone was waiting for. Now, if you've been living under a rock and somehow missed it, Austin and Catherine's breakup was a whole ordeal. I mean, we're talking cheating rumors, many accusations, and a whirlwind of drama that had fans, influencers, and tabloids buzzing for months. So when Austin starts to talk about Catherine on his podcast, you know the floodgates are about to open. In this episode, Austin didn't hold back. He was candid about how things went down between him and Catherine, but of course, he had his own spin on things. From his perspective, it seemed like he is still dealing with the aftermath of everything, even if he is pretending to be over it. It's honestly pretty clear that while Austin might say that he's moved on, there is still some unfinished business there. What's more, Austin didn't just talk about his side of the breakup. He also threw some shade at Catherine's new man. However, before we dive into the real tea about Catherine's new boyfriend, we need to address something important: Austin's jealousy. He is not shy about how he feels when it comes to Catherine's relationship status. I mean, it's not surprising. Anyone would be a little salty when their ex moves on so publicly, but it still feels like Austin's ego might be taking a hit. And I can't blame him. After everything, it's gotta sting to see your ex in a new relationship, especially when your breakup was so public and dramatic. So let's break it down. Let's just say he's not exactly welcoming the new guy with open arms. Austin doesn't outright bash Catherine's new boyfriend, but the way he talks about him, it's pretty obvious that there's some lingering bitterness. Like, the words he uses are definitely not warm and fuzzy.
Now I feel like I'm set free from the internet, because ever since our separation, everyone kept saying how I was obsessed with her, how I won't leave her alone, how I want her back. And so once she posted that, now it gives me freedom to
post whatever you want.
To post whatever I want.
He's quick to mention how he's been watching from the sidelines, and you can tell that there's a part of him that's struggling to accept this new chapter in Catherine's life. And now people are wondering if he still feels like there's some unfinished business between him and Catherine. Either that or some crippling, bitter jealousy, or he could even be angry that some other man is now in his place and always around his kids.
Even though when you do post something, the hate still gonna come no matter what.
No, because I would really hope from you guys that
you can hope all you want.
I get as much love and support that she has been getting, and I'm very, happy that you guys are supporting her, and that's what she deserves. But I also hope when I find somebody that makes me happy, you guys are happy for me as well.
It's clear that Austin was trying so much not to come across as bitter, but who are we kidding? Every comment, every word was crafted to make sure the audience knew that Austin's life was just fine post-breakup. He tried to make it look like he wasn't a bad partner, revealing that they didn't separate out of toxicity or anything. Apparently the relationship just kind of wore off.
People don't know this, but for the past few years, her and I, we're struggling with our relationship. Just like any couple does, right? Everyone, has struggles and goes through things. No relationship is perfect. But I think ours was a little different because it's in front of everyone, millions of people, right? It's all over the internet. We have businesses, we have 3 kids together. We have so many things that go on in our relationship besides just her and I, which can cause conflict. And believe it or not, but I don't even know if I should be saying this, but we're being honest. The first fight that I had with Gib, when I went through it with that fight, around that time, her and I talked about separating them.
That exact time?
Around that time.
So you was getting beat up in the ring, beat up in your relationship. That's a double one.
Around that time. Very, very tough time for us, but we pushed through. We both decided that we were going to keep trying, work on things, and we ultimately put our happiness last and put our kids first. And that's what we were doing, for the last few years of our relationship. And it just got to the point where we felt that we were going to be much happier separated than together. And it took everything out of us. Her and I, it's crazy because we've been through a lot together, and it wasn't just a overnight thing. Obviously, been together for 10 years, experienced so much together. It took time to get to that point where we both decided to pull the plug. And one thing about her and I, we always put our kids first, and it was a never toxic relationship. Nothing in our home was toxic. When we argued, it was really short, and then we got over it. But I will say, it was really feeling like we were more best friends than actual husband and wife. And so that's what it was leading towards. She was going one direction, I was going another direction, and we just couldn't get on the same track.
So basically, just the ending was going to happen no matter what. Is how
the ending was going to happen no matter what, and we felt the timing made sense, and we didn't want to drag our unhappiness out.
Either way, you can feel the emotion in his words, even though he tries to play it cool.
I was really, really happy for her that she found someone that she can connect with on her level. Sorry, guys, I got all this hair from
Are you getting hot flashes? This nigga's old as hell.
It's a lot. It's a lot for me right now.
You get emotional?
Chill. So again, finally, I was extremely happy for her. And I appreciate, everyone's support for her. That was like my 3 biggest things was like, I really hope that people can support her through this process because we're both going through something new together. You know what I mean? Like she's, she has a new man. I'm still trying to figure out me and, trying to find my happiness and everything else. So, so that's really like my reaction to the whole thing. I already knew about it. People were wanting me to be messy, but I already been known. He's been to my house. I've been over there, obviously.
As the episode wraps up, the energy shifts. It's a mix of reflection, gratitude, and a whole lot of hope for what's next. The conversation takes a heartfelt turn, but don't let the sincerity fool you. There's still some spice left to keep things interesting. Also, with the king of clickbait back, best believe that we're about to be taken through the ringer a couple of times. Oh, and by the way, Austin and Landon also addressed the elephant in the room. Catherine's now famous Instagram post, the one where Catherine hard launched her now boyfriend. That single photo sent the internet into overdrive, but Austin is surprisingly composed. He described how he first saw the picture while at Sky Zone with his kids. That's crazy because he was probably mid-slide laughing and snapping content for Snapchat when he notices the telltale bubble indicating Catherine had posted, and then out of curiosity he checks it out and boom, there it is. Catherine with her new man. He admits it was a moment that hit hard, but not for the reasons people might think. It wasn't anger or bitterness, it was more of a realization. She finally did it, he says, referencing the post as a symbolic release from the narrative that he was still hung up on her. For him, it marked the end of speculation and set him free to embrace his own path. But don't get it twisted, he's not just brushing it off. Austin acknowledges the challenges of seeing another man around his kids, particularly his daughters. He emphasizes how crucial it is for Catherine's partner to be someone trustworthy. My kids are my life, he says, his voice cracking under the weight of emotion. He even admits admits he thought about having the talk with her new boyfriend, but feels it's unnecessary out of the mutual respect already established. He's been to my house, I've been to theirs, we're all just making it work for the kids.
Becoming
I will say
different.
one thing though that is tough for me is that, you know, and again, this is just my own opinion. You know, everyone else in the world wants to give their own opinion, but for me, because I do have 3 kids involved and I have 2 daughters, that is just important. It's important to me to know that, like, he's safe. You know what I mean? Like, he's a safe person for my kids to be around.
Every parent should agree and know that's valid.
Yeah. Like, if he's going to be, you know, around my kids as much as he is, I'm praying, I'm hoping that he loves my kids like his own. I don't think he has kids. So I don't see a reason why he wouldn't.
And let's not ignore Landon, who couldn't resist adding a touch of his signature humor. He jokes about spotting Catherine's boyfriend during a pickup at her house and trying to keep things casual so he wouldn't come off as the overprotective uncle. The banter lightens the mood, but the sentiment remains clear. Family comes first, and they're working hard to make co-parenting a success. But this wasn't just about Austin. As y'all already know, Landon has had his fair share of drama, failed relationships, and breakups. Things were thick between him and Shyla, so he also had a couple of stuff to share when they were talking about new beginnings and all. So from there, the focus shifts to Landon's current state of mind, and he opens up about his relationship with Sophia, his second daughter's mother, who he credits with transforming his life. Sophia elevated me as a man, he says with a genuine gratitude. He admits that he was lost after his split from the previous relationship with all that happened, including a reckless lifestyle and losing sight of what truly mattered. It wasn't until Sophia came into the picture that he found stability and purpose again. Landon added that Sophia's impact on Austin's life is undeniable. She's not only supported him emotionally, but also helped him lock in on his career and strengthen his relationship with his kids. He recounts how he hesitated to introduce Sophia to his daughter Sol because he takes parenting so seriously. Sol is my pride and joy, he says, explaining that it took him years to feel comfortable bringing someone new into her life. But Sophia passed every test, and now Sol adores her stepmother, creating a harmonious dynamic that Austin never thought possible.
I am in a very happy relationship.
Yeah.
With my girl Sophia.
Yeah.
That most of you guys watching know. And we just had my second daughter, Saya Blue McBroom, who was just born on Halloween, like we said. And I am so happy in my relationship and just happy in general, and it elevated me as a man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think Sophia elevated you as a man.
Oh, real shit.
Yeah.
Because
Like, Sophia, if you're watching this podcast, you were perfect, and you were what my brother needed.
yeah, I needed that.
You came in
myself,
and you changed this man's life.
You already know how this goes. Some people thought his words were thoughtful, but honestly, it felt like the other half of the crowd saw straight through it. It seemed like he was low-key throwing shade at his ex, trying to make sure that she knew that he was winning, living his best life without her. And let's be real, it wasn't just about Austin. Landon was out here acting like he needed everyone to know how much money they're making off of Snapchat, that they were filming in his house, that he's got a kid, and oh yeah, he's about to be a husband. Like, calm down with the flexing. And in case you're wondering if this is just a one-time thing or if this podcast was here to stay, well, with the heavy stuff out of the way, the brothers took a moment to reflect on their new venture, podcasting. Starring outside voices has been a long time coming, and they are both very excited about what's ahead. Austin appreciated that running projects together was making them get closer every year, and also emphasized how much this project meant to him. It's not just about entertainment, it's about sharing their stories, creating a safe space to speak their truths, and giving their audience a behind-the-scenes look at their lives. But don't think that this is going to be a McBroom family therapy session. Landon teases the lineup of guests they plan to feature, hinting at potential for Catherine to join an episode, possibly with her new boyfriend. The suggestion was half joking, half serious, and Austin's reaction is priceless. But y'all, wouldn't that be crazy? Also, Austin McBroom being who he is, he might take it up actually, because if it can make him trend and make him money, best believe Austin is up for the challenge. The episode ends on a heartfelt note with with both brothers expressing gratitude to their audience. They acknowledge the love, the hate, and everything in between, making it clear that this podcast is for everyone, fans, critics, and even their haters. And with that, the first chapter of Outside Voices wraps up, leaving fans with a lot to talk about and even more to look forward to. So, what do you think? Will Austin actually make it this time, or is it just the same old Austin? Don't forget to turn on those notifications so you don't miss the latest tea on these influencers and celebs. Thanks for watching!